Hi, I'm Bonnie Marlow, broker owner of Cisco Realty,
I'm Lindsay Toy-Swick, agent at Cisco Realty.
and we hope you had some happy holidays.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
That's right. We're back today after having a few weeks off due to Christmas and New Year's and everything. And today we want to talk about home inspections.
Yes, very important topic.
Yeah, it's important for both buyers and sellers.
Yes.
One of the things we need to remember is that when we do a home inspection, that every home has issues.
Yes.
Even new construction. They will find something. But what we're doing is we're looking to identify major defects, safety concerns, and maintenance issues.
Yes.
We're not looking for little minor repairs or tiny little, maintenance items that were put off.
No.
We're looking for some things that are going to affect the habitating the home or the value of the home.
Yes. And your home inspection is going to have everything in it, from those little things to those bigger things. So it's important to sit down and have a conversation about what you can live with and what you can't live with. You can live with the jiggly doorknob. You can't live with a hole in your roof.
Exactly. But the other thing it's important to remember is that an inspection doesn't always find everything.
No.
They don't move furniture.
No.
They don't open walls.
They don't.
They don't, send scopes down into pipes, at least not for normal home inspections.
No.
That's something you can request. And what they're testing is, does it work now?
Yes.
They do not warranty that it will continue to work.
No.
Only thing the home inspection says is the furnace was working at the time of inspection.
Yes.
That's it. If you have more questions about the furnace, you can always bring in a furnace person.
Oh, yeah.
An HVAC person to take a closer look at it.
Well, because you have your general inspection, and then you have specialty inspections as well. So you have, your well and your chimney, and there are different facets. So when you're looking at a home inspector, you can always talk to your agent and see what that home inspector covers versus if you would want an additional inspection done.
Yeah, and sometimes you might want those after the general home inspection. So if the home inspector goes in and says, hey, the furnace is working, but, it's 20 years old.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like it might be in the best repair. Maybe at that point you might sit there and say, hey, Mr. Seller, we would like to bring in an HVAC person to do a little bit more detailed look at your furnace.
Yeah.
Before you decide how you want to proceed. And if you're buying a home in the country, you might want to look at water quality.
Yes.
And septic, which would be separate from, a general home inspection. But those are two important, expensive things.
Yes.
That it's good to have looked at before you purchase a home.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You're looking for those big, expensive items before you buy it, because you don't want to buy it and then be surprised. Oh, hey, you need a new roof. Oh, hey, you need, you're trying to figure that out before you buy the home.
Yes.
And once you get the home inspection, first of all, it's going to be 100 pages.
Even a brand new home, new construction, never been lived in, there will be something on that report. And because our inspectors they're very thorough. I mean, they do a good job. It takes them hours to do an inspection.
2 to 4 hours typically.
And they put everything they find on that report. So it can look scary when you get a book handed to you.
Exactly.
But that's just because they're doing their job through and through.
And it's also a good guide for the buyer after the purchase for those little items that you don't take care of before buying.
Yeah.
But after you buy, you can use that as things to that you can work through and take care of eventually. But when you do get that report, you read through it and look for items, like I said, that affect the habitation of the house and the value of the house.
Yes.
So we're looking for major items. If you find any of those, your question is this something that I can afford to take care of myself? Is this something I want to take care of myself? Or, how do I want to proceed? And then talk to your real estate agent.
Yes.
There are certain things depending on your loan type, that you may have to have fixed before it can close.
Yeah.
So if you have an FHA loan, a USDA loan, a VA loan, any of those government loans, there's might be things that have to be fixed before closing. Chipping and peeling paint, GFCI outlets, railings.
Yes.
Those are some of the small typical things that need to be taken care of before closing those types of loans.
Yeah.
But if you have a conventional loan or your cash, then you don't need to worry about those types of things.
No, then it's what your preference is and what you want to do, what you're comfortable with.
And in my opinion, and this is what I usually tell my clients, is close and fix it yourself, because then you get to pick who does it. You get to make sure they're licensed and insured or anything like that. You control the quality of the work and who does it. I mean, if it's really expensive and you don't want to absorb it, you can ask for a reduction on price.
Yep.
But if you sit there and say, hey, Mr. Seller, I want you to fix this plumbing, and they just go ask their nephew or their uncle to do it, who's not licensed but is a handyman, and they say, okay, it's done. Is that acceptable to you?
Yeah.
Or did you want an actual plumber to do it? I mean, yes, we can write in there we want a licensed plumber, and there are ways to do it that way too.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just sit there and say, hey,
fix it.
You know what? I'll buy the house, maybe take a little bit off or whatever, but I'll buy the house and then you do it. Then you don't have to worry about any of that. You know who fixed it. You know what quality of work's done. You control it yourself. And there's something to be said for that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So after you get the inspection, you can either ask for repairs.
Mm-hmm.
You can ask for price reduction.
Yes.
You can say, I love this house. I want it as is, shaky doorknobs and all.
That's right.
Or on rare occasion, we have people that say, nope, it's too much. Mm-hmm. And that's okay too. So after that home inspection is done, there are still options and chats to have and conversations to...
Yeah. An inspection report is a negotiation tool.
Yeah.
But we also have to remember the inspection period.
Mm-hmm.
There is a set number of days, usually 10 or 15, that you have to not only get the inspection done, but to also negotiate any repairs, reductions in price, or to back out of the contract.
Yeah.
Once that inspection period is over, you no longer have the legal ability to back out of that contract.
Yeah.
Or even ask for repairs.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some timeliness,
yes,
and deadlines that people need to keep in mind. But whether you're the buyer or the seller, like I said, the report is a negotiation tool.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way it should be looked at.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? It educates everybody, and that's important. You don't ever, as a seller, you don't want to blindly sell your house, and as a buyer, you don't want to blindly buy a home. So that inspection is just very important.
Now, as a seller, if the home inspector finds something and you cannot come to an agreement with the buyer and they walk away, now all of a sudden we have a condition.
Yes.
We have something in a defect.
Mm-hmm.
We need to go back to the property disclosures. We need to tell future buyers about whatever was found if you do not repair it.
Yes, we always have to disclose that.
Exactly. And I know sometimes sellers don't always agree with what is found. But because a home inspector found it, we still need to mention it. Now, there's ways we can phrase it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can go get a second opinion from somebody.
Yes.
And see what they say. But we still need to mention why the contract fell through.
Yes.
And what they found and what your other guy found, or
Yeah.
So that way any future sellers can make an educated decision on what they want to do as far as purchasing the house.
Yeah.
But that's something to keep in mind as a seller when you're negotiating repairs or reductions after an inspection.
Mm-hmm.
If this deal falls through, you have to disclose anything that was, what was found in that inspection. And that could, really hurt any future deals.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times you're probably better off to go ahead and figure out a way to get to the closing table with your current buyers.
Well, and it just takes that much more time. But I mean, It all depends on, what they want to do. Some people, they don't care if they sell right now. So it just all depends what they want to do. But, it's important for both sides to realize that they both still have options.
Yeah.
So,
and when the home inspection is done, we typically always ask the seller to leave the house. So the seller is not there when the home inspector comes in. We also ask that buyers come to the end of the inspection, not the whole time, because it just slows the inspector up, and they don't know anything when they first get there.
No.
So it's best if the buyer comes at the end of the inspection, and then the inspector can take them around and show them the major things that they found. And it also makes that report less scary when you get it. Because, the inspector's already told you, like, the major things. And so then when you see this 100-page report with all these little things, you can say, okay, well, the inspector, said that these are other things are what, we should be concentrating on. So it makes it, so I think it eases the mind of the buyer to talk to the inspector and to see it personally rather than just in a report. As far as the report, buyers and sellers can expect that the buyer will receive the report usually within 24 hours.
Our local inspectors are really good about getting those back to us really quick.
Sometimes it's even faster than that. As long as they pay.
You got to pay to play.
Yeah, that's right. Is there anything else you'd like to add about home inspections?
Well, I just do want to say it's optional. You have an option to get a home inspection or not. We always recommend that you get a home inspection. It's your right to not. However, we will make you sign a form saying that we told you should. But it's a really good negotiation tool, and it's a good peace of mind tool. And if by chance you can't make it to the end of the inspection, your agent is usually there. We always go to our inspections. So we know what's going on. You'll get the report, and then you have an opportunity to have a good conversation about what you really need and what you want to ask for, or if you don't want to ask for anything. So,
and as far as home inspectors, our contract says that you have to have a licensed home inspector.
Yes.
It cannot be your uncle who's a general contractor, your grandpa who built his own home. It has to be a licensed home inspector.
Yes.
There is a website that has all the licensed home inspectors in the state that you can check. But we also have a list of probably 8, 9 home inspectors in the area that are licensed that and we'll give that list to our buyers. And then, but ultimately it's up to the buyer as to who they choose as their own home inspector. Because the home inspection is the property of the buyer. The seller only gets to see what the buyer chooses.
So if you don't ask for repairs, you never have to share any of that because it's your property. You paid for it. But, generally if you're asking for a repair or something, then we don't mind sharing those things.
We usually share that page that talks about that. Sometimes it's nice, I hate to say this, to share an extra page or two so then they can see how the things that were wrong we didn't ask for.
Yes.
Sometimes that can help a little bit too with the seller saying yes, because they can see, they didn't ask for this and this. But okay, I'll do this item then since they didn't ask for everything.
True. No, they're being reasonable. We'll help them out.
So, there's a lot of different ways to go into the negotiations and to get things accomplished. But that's what your real estate agent is there for. That's what we're for. We're to help you through that and guide you through that process.
Oh, yeah.